I am so excited to be talking about obviously my favorite fucking topic in the whole wide world. Sex. I was the biggest prude for so many years, which is always like a low key a sign that you're not going to be a prude very soon. I feel like it's like a prude, scared of it, didn't want to have sex, thought it was the nastiest, grossest thing growing up. The thoughts that were going through my mind as a young prepubescent little girl, oof, I was terrified. I was actually one of the later to the game girls in school with all of that. Well, I was the first. Well, okay, I was the first for some things and the last for a lot of things. But you win some, you lose some. It's not a competition. It doesn't really matter. The point here is I was never fully immersed or comfortable in being the person that I am with today. I am so comfortable and confident in bed. Obviously it's so much better when you know the person for reasons I will mention with these tips I'm going to share with you guys. It's going to elevate your game. I believe it's changed my sex life. In order for me to give you guys these tips, I need to preface this with a few things that make these tips actually valuable. Number one, having with random people sporadically, not really knowing them, you'll never actually get to that, oh my God, amazing level. You can lie to yourself and say that you had the best one night stand, but that's in comparison to other one night stands. True good takes time to know your body and the other person's body and how you two connect in that environment. There's a lot more to it behind closed doors, and with maturity and with time and with experience, you will realize that. So if you don't believe me and if you don't want to agree with me and I don't give a fuck, like it's your life, you do you. I'm not out here to change your life, your thoughts, your vibe, your whatever. It doesn't affect me by any means. So if you don't care, if you don't agree with me, if you don't believe me, no problem. Time will tell. With maturity and with age, I've definitely realized that the best I've ever had was with people that I've been immersed with. I've learned about, I've taken the time to notice things. I've learned about their bodies. And, I've definitely been practicing on myself with masturbation, all that stuff, which I always recommend. This leads me into the very first tip of successful sex: masturbation, which in my opinion equals confidence in bed. Masturbate without porn. Masturbate to yourself with yourself. When I first did it, I'll never forget that day. I was very uncomfortable. And I continued because I told myself, you are uncomfortable because you are uncomfortable with yourself. To look at yourself and watch you please yourself should not make you uncomfortable. It's about turning yourself on with your own thoughts about what you could be doing or what you are doing to yourself or to others or what someone will do to you. Use your imagination, use your brain. That's why porn really does rob you from that creativity, from that confidence too, because your brain's on autopilot and you're watching two people and you're not focused on yourself. You're not learning anything about yourself. You are not increasing your sex drive. You are not increasing your knowledge about sex or your confidence in bed. If anything, it's doing the total opposite. In the mirror, masturbate. This will show you how you look. This will allow you to come to terms with your body. This will allow you to kind of look yourself in the eye and look at the expressions that naturally come out of you. This helps with confidence. People are so concerned about how they look to the other person in bed that is the reason why you suck in bed. That hinders your pleasure and the other person's pleasure, because there is nothing, and you guys know this, the sexiest thing in bed is when people are just like low-key a little bit animalistic, right? Like you are just letting all of that go and you are fucking doing what you want to do with that other person together consensually. And it's just like you can see the pleasure and the euphoria naturally. You're not faking it. You're not fake moaning. You're not making fake faces. And you got all of that from. That's not actually how people are. That's not actually the expressions that you make necessarily. It's not actually the noises that come out of your mouth. Be in tune with yourself. That is the hottest thing. Confidence in bed is you knowing your body and you knowing how you look like and you knowing what works for you. Go in knowing that stuff so that every time you have sex, even if it's not with somebody necessarily that you are planning on for a long time, you still get pleasure out of it because you know your body. You know what works for you. I've asked so many guys what the sexiest thing in bed that a girl could do is. And, everyone has their thing, their kink, their whatever. But a lot of them, bottom line, just say when she is just confident and cool with her body, like when she's touching herself, when she's like just in her element and she's moaning and she's allowing her faces to just do what they want to do, and it's not a fucking performance. A performance feels like a performance. A performance creates this fakeness in the bedroom, and when you're both so vulnerable but naked and intimate, the worst thing you can do is actually come in with that fakeness energy, because then it's just like, well, do I trust her? It makes you question the trust in the bedroom with one another, subconsciously almost. And then you're not really as into it, because if you're faking your moans and if you're not confident just being you, it's like, I don't want to that. Guys have specifically a lot of problems with that, you know, with the whole fakeness and whatever, because they're like, I'm trying to pleasure you. And if I can't gauge it because you're faking it, then I don't know what the to do, right? And then we complain how he sucked in bed or how she sucked in bed, because you're all faking it. Right? You're not showing them, you're not guiding them with your body, truthfully, what works and what doesn't work for you. Tip number 2, that's kind of a subcategory of tip number 1, is masturbate with your partner. This is why I prefaced this and said you should be, you know, experimenting sexually with somebody, with a specific somebody for a decent amount of time to really explore like the levels of sex and get to the best sex of your life. You know, this won't really work with somebody that you're just dabbling with, because chances are you won't have that chance to masturbate with one another. But take the masturbation thing, while it is like a private thing a lot of us like to do, mostly because they're embarrassed by their addiction or by what they're watching. That's why a lot of, you know, primarily I've noticed guys like need to masturbate even if they have had sex or whatever, because it's like a routine, it's a habit they've built, and they get to watch the shit that like is mind numbing to them, and it feeds their addiction that they don't even realize they have. Goes the same for women, but I've seen it more with men in this case. When you masturbate with your partner, not only are you increasing intimacy, and intimacy is more than just intimacy, is sort of that air that takes sex from good to great. You get to watch each other, and you can even masturbate to one another, which I think is very hot. I think it's actually sweet and endearing, and it's nice that you guys are turned on by one another and you guys can help each other out or whatever. But giving yourself a few minutes to just masturbate on your own next to each other, right in front of each other, allows you to observe what they do to themselves, because nobody knows the other person's body more than they do, right? Notice these things that will give you so much information about what they like. And that's why when you masturbate too, make sure you're masturbating authentically. At the beginning, it's a little bit awkward, of course, because it's a new experience and you're used to doing it privately. But when you trust somebody or you have that connection with somebody, it'll make it a little bit easier. Keep notes and take tabs as to what they do to themselves and what they like. That way you can use that for oral sex when you perform that on them, or when you're having sex in general, you know, the emotions, the speed, the this, the that, like what they're into. And you can kind of get creative that way. The more knowledge you have, the better at sex you will be. Each sexual experience is tailored to the person you're fucking, right? That's how you should go into it with. And I'm not saying to go into sex focused on pleasing just the other person. You're going to please yourself, and you better please yourself and know how to please yourself, and not put all of that pressure on somebody else when they don't know your body 100% or as well as you do, obviously. So keep that in mind, like take some accountability here. But at the same time, when you go in and you're choosing to fuck somebody, the goal should be to pleasure each other. Just having that will, just coming in being like, I know what he likes, or I have a feeling, or we've spoken about it, or I've watched, you know, him or her. I can now tailor this experience to that. And that makes you an educated fucker, you know, which will inevitably make you just better in bed. My last and final tip for this video, I've got plenty more tips, of course, is the foreplay. And this goes without saying, but needs to be said still, because I know a lot of you guys are still struggling with this. And I've experienced things where like guys have zero foreplay. Foreplay is one of those things that will make mediocre sex unbelievable. Foreplay should be building anticipation. Foreplay should be giving you a taste, but not the whole meal right away. Foreplay is what gets a woman to that point, both physically and mentally, because a lot of you guys have been told that women are all, you know, mental and emotional. Well, foreplay is your key to success, my man, if you can't figure out where the fuck clit is. I'm kidding. You should know where the clit is, but every woman's body is different. So no shame if you're having some struggles there. Foreplay is your key to success, my man. And ladies, foreplay is what will make your life so much easier when it comes to blowjobs, when it comes to whatever. This is like kind of the cheat code for making sex feel like it's lasting longer than it is, or making it easier to make each other come. Work yourselves up, feel each other out, take moments of pausing, build it. Even if you're dying to fuck, I want you both to be at a point where you're salivating for it. That is when you know, I think I'm salivating. I'm turning myself on. Woo! That is when you know that you are ready to have sex. Ladies, between you and me, guys, close your ears. I don't want you to hear this. If you're like not really interested in giving him like a blowjob, let's say, and spending a lot of time doing that, foreplay and getting him worked up will make him come quicker. It's that simple. Tease so that you don't really have to do much work. And the guys, same goes for you, because I know you plug your ears because you're a nosy mother. A lot of people are hesitant of foreplay because they're like, well, I'm not going to last long. In certain situations, you don't need to last long. And sometimes if the foreplay is super satisfying and like super sexy, the sex is like whatever, Sometimes it's not just the physical act of fucking. And I think we're so focused on that. We think sex is just that. There are so many other elements and areas of the whole sexual experience that you should be focused on and you should play around with, so like one day focus more on foreplay, the next day focus more on the physical acts. When you mix that up, it keeps sex exciting, it keeps sex different, and it almost ensures that your sex life will not be routine. And I think that that's the biggest complaint, is like when we don't explore, when we don't change things up, it becomes sex is just sex. We do it just to get each other off and we move on. That's when you lose the intimacy. That's when you have problems in relationships. That's when your sex life goes down the fucking drain. We're comfortable being comfortable. We don't really care to put more effort or try or have conversations. We don't have patience. We don't want to put in effort. So that's what you get, a shitty sex life. And you brewed that for yourself, my friend. Spend more time with foreplay. Warm her up. Warm him up. Play with tempo. Slow it down, build it up, stop. Going back and forth and using foreplay throughout your sexual experience is life-changing, game-changing. Believe it or not, it seems like pretty self-explanatory, but I doubt a lot of you guys are actually using it to your advantage and taking it as seriously as you fucking should. You know how hot it is? I'm going to give you a personal example where like you foreplay, you fuck, and then midway when you're changing positions, you both stop having sex and you just go back to like that foreplay, teasing, whatever. It's like I need it. Like it's like this, oh my god, I'm dying, it's this like crazy anticipation. It's like whatever, I'm getting myself turned on right now. There's nothing like it. Like it's unbelievable to switch the tempo up and like change the game in the middle. Ooh, it's insane. And this will actually allow you to last longer. So while the argument is that foreplay might make you last not super long if you just focus on that at the beginning, perhaps, but if you do it in the middle of sex, that actually can help you last longer. So you can use it to your advantage. It also kind of helps with edging each other, and that helps kind of practice your threshold for how long you last. Smart, right? I hope you grabbed or took a thing or two. I hope you have some ideas now. I hope that got the juices flowing. No comment. Thank you so much for watching and listening and spending time with me. I know this was like a short and sweet, quick one. I've got plenty more to come. I'm just teasing you. I'm foreplaying you right now. I'm giving you just a little bit, not the whole package right now. More tips to come. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. Hit the bell for the notifications. If you guys have any video requests or any questions, scenarios, situations, things you need advice on that you want me to do a video on, leave them in the comments. It means the world to me. Follow me on Instagram. All that good stuff. All the links will be where they usually are, in the description. Make sure you rate the podcast 5 stars. It really does help and means so much to me. I love you guys. Bye.